to the Lost at Home podcast. Here are your hosts, Scott Bear and Jeremiah Johnson.
Welcome to the Lost at Home podcast. My name is Scott.
I'm Jeremiah Johnson.
And we are back for another quarantine episode.
Yeah, these at some point
might have to end because it's just...
and really, you know, like we're not officially, it's not complete lockdown now. So we'll probably have an exit strategy one of these times. But at the same time, there's so many stories that are. I will say there's still some stories popping up that are COVID related, obviously, but it has been nice as we've been seeing lockdowns ease. We've been seeing weird news and web droppings perk back up like crazy, and we have plenty. We have a little mix of everything today to get into to talk about. And of course, there's plenty of other crazy news been going on. I don't know if you heard about these riots. Yeah, it seems black. Did you know this? Did you know that? Apparently, black people haven't been getting a fair shake in this country for quite some time now.
And we're blaming it all on Quiet Riot, the band?
News to me. It's Quiet Riot apparently is single-handedly has brought racism back from the dead. It was actually dead because we had a black president that one time, if you recall. And it turns out racism's back with a vengeance.
Yeah, we're going to get into a few of the topical stories of the early half of this year. And,
I would call this a 2020 refresher because here's just in case people forgot how batshit this year is because first of all, everyone is like coronavirus and be like, and obviously that stokes a lot of like fear and issues, and then these protests, these riots, the looting for very justified reasons. Actually, here instead of just talking about the protests and riot, let's say the murder of an unarmed black man first, because that was definitely instead of being like, oh, it's all about the riots happened for a reason. So people are being like, oh my god, all this shit. People have forgotten about a couple of things that we even started the year with that seemed like an age ago. It also seemed like almost no big deal.
There's stuff I forgot to add to our list that I'll once we get into the show, I'm going to add. But to begin the show, let's let any new listener know exactly what the fuck they're listening to, because you may have clicked on this for a variety of reasons, but the gist of the show is we take some of the more obscure stories from the internet, stuff you won't see on, say, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News.
Luckily.
And what we do is we report on those rarer stories, the little gems that we found that are a little on the weird side, and we try to twist some of that news into new content.
Yeah.
That content we hold the right to use as our own if we ever decide to make anything out of it, or when we, say, twist a story about a Florida man into a movie, a comic book, or a TV show, or any other form of content.
Was that what it was?
If we don't... what?
That movie Trunk,
Trunk.
It was actually Trunk and Trunk 2 or whatever.
And we had sequels, We still haven't gotten there, but we said that's
probably one of the few that could have actually been shot during the pandemic.
Actually, doing it in a parking lot,
Anyway.
But, when we twist that new content, we're kind of giving it up for grabs. And all we ask in return is that we get maybe an acknowledgement. So if you make a movie out of one of our weird stories, just say a story inspired by the two of us. So something like that. But other than that, just have fun, sit back.
Consider this a nice idea of free will for you all to have some fun with. And but we also like to start out the show sometimes with some things that do not fall into that. We might not necessarily create new content for, and sometimes we pupper that kind of stuff.
This is a non-content generating part of the show. We just kind of want to do a 2020 refresher because
2020 generated its own content.
A lot has happened, and it's about to be. Well, by the time you hear this, it will be June.
Although I will say, everybody think about this. Imagine if you were to pitch a movie with all of these things in it, nobody would ever fucking buy it because it would be too unbelievable and batshit. It'd be like, all right, the year is 2020.
Oh, I read one of those where someone wrote one of those. The movie pitch of 2020. And they're like, no.
It's 2020. Australia is burning. Like, okay, I like where this is going. A nice Outback tale. And America's in World War III with Iran, almost or maybe. Right off the bat.
Yep. And I think a lot of people forgot about both of those.
Yes.
Already.
They feel like ages ago. They also, which is terrible to say because Australia, pretty much burning down. Losing, millions and millions of animals and
99% of Australia is ashes.
Yep, exactly. And we're just like, oh, that old news. People are like, oh, what was that? 2016 that happened? They're like, no, man, that was this year.
No, they were figuring out ways to kill the coronavirus before it even got to their country.
You
can burn the virus.
Yeah, it's the old strategic, or what do they call that? Burning, whatever.
Controlled burn.
Control burn. Yeah, control, not strategic. It is strategic, but
and around the same time as that, we had a primary going for the Democratic presidential nominee, and Bernie was in the lead, and then there was Super Tuesday, and he wasn't, and Biden got picked. I think we forgot Bernie was a human, and Biden's our choice.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I mean, we see Biden. It's funny that Biden is
we saw Biden once on Memorial Day.
How much better he does by just not be, because he's spoken like twice, and one of those he like botched big time on like a radio program. But it just sounded very old fashioned the way it did on a radio program. See,
a talkie.
Yeah, next time, yeah. But he will fuck things up so easily. And it's great how much better he is if you just confine him to his basement and let him do a Zoom chat every once in a while. Clearly, somebody else set up the Zoom, because the guy can barely put his own fucking underwear on. I'm sure he's not the one running, Zoom chats at this point. But somebody presses a button and he gets to talk into it, and he gets to say a few things about the stuff that's going on. Say, I'd do a better job without actually having to go out there on the trail and accidentally grope a bunch of people. Social distancing has been the best thing for a gropey for a gropey president. Social distancing has helped.
Can't sniff those kids when they're 6 feet away.
Yeah, right. Get my sniffing tube.
Well, very few people know on Memorial Day, when he came out of his burrow, he saw his shadow, which is unfortunate for most Americans, because that means 4 more years of Republican rule.
Yeah, 4 more years.
He saw his shadow. We needed to have an overcast day.
Yeah, but then he played with it for a while. He didn't realize it was.
He kept doing high fives to his own shadow.
Yeah, and then don't even talk about how the fun he had with the guy in the mirror later that night. He's like, oh. Anyway, so that was part of it. Of course,
and then the coronavirus.
Yeah, and clearly we thought that was gonna be it. The how
15 cases. It'll be 1 by next week, and then 0. Nope, it's 100 million dead.
And then even after the lockdown,
100,000 dead. 100,000. Damn it!
Well, you just adding zeros all over the place, man. All right.
Sometimes your wishes are the things you just spit out of your mouth. Maybe I want 100 million dead.
I've got that on my vision board, which I can't see because I have coronavirus. Oh shit! I didn't say I wanted. I forgot to specify that I didn't want to be one of those. But yeah, we figured like because you and I still have our beards. I was like, I'm gonna grow a lockdown beard.
Yeah, we got our quarantine beards.
I'm gonna be shaving mine pretty soon, because I wasn't expecting lockdown to head into 90-degree weather, which it was 90+ degrees in Vermont.
I said I'd tough it out for as long as you toughed it out. You're gonna shave. I'm gonna trim.
I think I'm gonna shave because I don't want to. Just because I heard that. Yeah, see, I don't have any reason for me not to or anything.
She grew accustomed.
I thought you were gonna say she grew a beard of her own. Yeah. I'm gonna shave my beard probably just because I feel like it. But I don't know. I might just buy a set of trimmers. I kind of need them anyway. I just don't. I have the stuff that can either chop it off. I don't have the stuff that with a little clipper. The
clippers.
Yeah. Clippers.
I don't
have clippers.
I don't know why, but when you said that she grew a beard, all I could think of is like a woman letting her bush grow out and be like, I grew a merkin. It's like, that's no, that's not quite what you mean.
It's
I'm going to donate it to needy actors in porn.
Did you put a fro pick in it?
An afro pick, yeah.
Jesus.
All right, and then because of the coronavirus, we have hit what would be considered, and I think statistically is accurate to say, Great Depression level unemployment.
Yes, yeah. And granted, we're hoping that it's a little hopefully different in this case, because the economics of it was based on a very specific thing that caused a lot of people to go out of work, and hopefully as people return to work, those numbers will be reduced quite a bit. But we don't know yet. But whereas the economic, the thing about the Great Depression is it was the economics that, like, the underlying reason for it. So you kind of economically had to get out of it. Obviously, we need to do that here. But now we just might have a bunch of people returning to work at the same time. Yeah, to at least some degree. We're not going to get back to.
It's not going to get normal, but
we'll still be in double digits.
America bounces back pretty quick.
And we'll be in double digits. It is going to be extremely difficult. There are going to be places that need to completely reorganize 100%. Like we're just going to see half the seats in theaters be like blocked, now.
And then immediately after that, we had armed protesters during a pandemic storming a state house because they wanted haircuts. Our president kind of instigated it by a bunch of liberate tweets. And things got scary for a moment.
I would say he definitely supported it. I think it was happening regardless, but
things got scary.
He was standing behind them and saying, once again, there are good people on both sides.
Yeah, we thought a bunch of rednecks with guns with 8th grade educations were about to take over the governments of small states that they didn't like. But no, it seems like that actually fell back a little.
Yeah, let's see with their fucking zero level civics education how well they can do running the government. Like, what do you mean 3 branches of government? Governments don't got branches.
Nice. And then murder hornets, which
and everybody's joking sort of be like, oh, 2020, didn't you give us enough? Now we got murder hornets.
And if you want to talk about bugs, we have the locust swarms going over other parts of the world, destroying crops like plagues.
India, yeah.
And also, this is the 17th year where the cicadas have been underground. This is the year they come out in the U.S.
And wasn't it posted
somewhere? We're going to have cicada. They taste like shrimp if you cook them right.
If you cook them, yeah. Which apparently a lot of things like grasshopper stuff supposedly taste good if you like.
That makes sense.
Almost like crawdads or something. I would think. I would imagine they'd be like those little meaty like popcorn.
People hate when I say this, but grasshoppers, cicadas, stuff like that, they're just shrimp that don't live underwater. They're the same animal.
Exactly.
They have the same amount of legs and exoskeleton, everything.
And they got like the little piece of the meat, and you can just cook them.
Pull the tail out and eat them.
The whole thing, just like with crawdads, you cook the whole damn thing,
and you eat the edible parts. And like I've said before, I don't really dig lobster. Not my favorite food.
I'm more of a crab guy.
I don't mind crab, but when I think about either,
like lobster,
they're just underwater spiders.
They're disgusting looking, but they are delicious. But still, I don't pay the money for. If I lived in Maine and they were like half the price of what they are here, and I just pop over and get like a lobster roll for almost nothing, I'd probably get a lobster roll every once in a while.
I don't think I would, but I would
do the hard work. But honestly,
But I would eat a crab cake. I would eat a crab salad sandwich.
Like real seafood salad. I like. Granted, the stuff you usually get it's technically
artificial
seafood, but it's like
which is also made
but
from
it's a lot
seafood.
of like tilapia and all this kind of stuff. Yeah,
it's mainly cod.
Yeah, it's all the shit that they can't sell that they brand as other things. So they're
it's
like
cod and
imitation crab is
cod and soy.
Yeah. Really?
Which I gotta say, imitation crab. Sometimes I buy a pack at the store, and all I do is I crumble it in a bowl.
It still tastes fine.
I put something spicy on it, and then I drench it in lemon juice, and I just eat it out of the bowl with a fork.
The thing about it is
make it
it's still seafood.
And spicy.
It's still seafood. The imitation part, people think it's like it must be plastic or something like that because it's imitation. It's like no, it's not made out of like veggies.
It's made out of the wrong seafood.
It's made out of different stuff that tastes crab-like with the right kind of. And especially put a little Old Bay on there.
Which is funny because
Old Bay and everything tastes like crab, man.
Which is funny because if you get imitation beef, you're getting a Beyond Burger, which has no beef in it.
Yes.
But if you think along the same lines as imitation seafood, imitation beef should just be ground up like chicken, duck, otter.
A hot dog.
Yeah, a hot dog. Imitation beef is basically
a hot dog in a patty form.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I was thinking a hamburger, but yeah, imitation burgers. Yeah.
I'm sorry if I just piqued your mic. Why don't we have hot dog patties?
I don't know why we don't. Because
why?
Because I have definitely
can you make them?
No, because I have definitely just. Of course, they just take any shape.
No, but can you like blend a hot dog?
It just turns
and
back
then patty it. Yeah, back up the goop.
Well, especially if you don't hear about like the natural casing hot dogs or anything, you're just getting. It's just all a
I'm googling this when the show's over. If there aren't hot dog patties that you could eat in a burger bun with burger toppings
which you should be able to, because I actually think it's way easier to eat like that. So sometimes I'll even I've been out of like hot dog buns or just haven't had them around and had a couple of hot dogs in hand, and I've done the slicing and put them on a. But it's harder to eat
they fall out. The little rings
fall out, and they're shaped. They're curved. Whereas a hot dog patty, I would buy those over hot dog shaped hot dogs any day.
You know what's a good thing to do when you're grilling? Get hot dog buns, grill them on the grill, make them toasty, grill chicken like tender strips with any flavor you want, and then make hot dog like basically out of a chicken strip in a bun. You're basically eating a chicken sandwich, but you're hot dogging it.
Yep.
And you can throw anything on that. Any of the same condiments, go wild. But honestly, if you don't like hot dogs, it's a really easy way to eat out in the summer.
Yeah,
chicken strip hot dogs.
I like pretty much anything about like summer food, the grilling stuff. This is definitely what our podcast is about, folks.
Yeah, I think we're both honestly, a little hungry.
I am actually hungry. I didn't have any breakfast, and I had a little one of those tiny little granola bars, like not even like might as well be a candy bar granola bar that I found lying around. Not in my house. Yeah,
those fun size Halloween granola bars that kids love,
and damn well they make them. And kids are. I mean, the thing about those is
I've never seen fun size granola bars like you would hand out fun size chocolates and stuff for Halloween.
No, and it would make sense. Like some people
I would hand those out on Halloween
because instead of fucking raisins, people would give those, and kids might actually eat them. Also, they're really not any more healthy.
They're not healthy.
Because I'm talking. I mean, obviously the real ones are like relatively healthy, but I'm talking about the ones that are just a Rice Krispie treat, but instead of with Rice Krispies, they're granola.
But then it's like marshmallow,
and chocolate chips in there, and it's just like, we'll call it some granola bar.
Just wedge a Butterfinger right through the middle.
Butterfinger granola bars. This one's a hot dog. It's shaped like a fucking granola bar. I said something here from 2016. Someone patented a hot dog hamburger hybrid, and I see people doing hot dog burgers where they dice a hot dog up and blend it in with ground beef. Not the same. I want a straight all the texture and everything of a hot dog.
8-ounce hot dog, round,
half
flat
pound, yeah.
patty.
Half pound motherfucking hot dog.
I want that
patty.
on a brioche bun with cheese,
mid-rare.
bacon, mid-rare. Hey, they come cooked, don't they? Are you really just making them hot?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I want it a little bit cold in the middle.
I don't think I've ever eaten a raw hot dog, but I don't think they're not raw, really, are they?
No, they're everything's good. Like, I know people who have eaten raw hot dogs. By that, raw, it's not like a raw sausage, like where you can actually get raw sausage, then you get the previously that you already cooked.
Oh yeah, sausage. You got to be careful what you're buying.
You just got to heat them up.
Yeah,
you could actually eat one completely raw and be fine.
Oh my god, you could just throw on the grill for like 10 seconds on each side, basically. Just get the marks on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I personally like my. I don't know how you like hot dogs.
How did we
like
just create new content out of the world burning?
Yes. Yeah. And we haven't even gotten to the biggest part, the biggest story of 2020.
There's some riots.
People know that there's riots already. Oh, and it really started, once again, it's not just about the riots. The reason for the riots is, hey, more unarmed black people getting murdered by cops. This one's so fucking egregious that it just...
And it wasn't even the only one this week. There's been like 9 others shown on social media that all happened this week.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Slow your roll. You guys already got your riots. Yeah. What do you literally want to happen at this point? They're going to shoot you.
Yeah, they're just like...
At some point, people will fight back.
Well, the problem
outside
is, like,
of burning targets.
When you show that there's really no like individual accountability, and honestly, not even that much on a part of the precincts and whatnot when this kind of stuff happens. Sure, some people have been charged and whatnot, but people tend to just get off scot-free because they're a cop. And it's not just because, like, oh, you're a cop, you're above the law. They're like, oh, in the line of duty, split-second decisions. This wasn't a split-second decision. People have seen the footage.
It was 11 minutes long, wasn't it? The entire...
I know that, like, they were saying, like, 8 minutes, at least as far as what the video was that came out.
More videos been coming out because more people videoed it, and finally they're sharing.
And also it's just about, like, what you consider, like, started. But as far as, like, the neck on the... the knee on the neck... no, his neck was on my knee. That would be, one of the defense aspects
like a bad
of it.
Reese's Cup commercial. Your neck's on my knee. My knee's on your neck. Two great flavors that should never go together.
Yeah.
By the way, the
black and white Reese.
The knee cop, I don't want to say his name because fuck him.
Yep.
His wife said she's going to file for divorce today.
That would be a thing to do.
Yes, you do not want to be supporting.
That being said, I mean, if he's had a history of just being a piece of shit and racist, this also seems like, oh, I don't want anywhere near this firestorm. Not so much. I disagree with his character.
He probably wanted divorce for years, and finally goes, yeah, he's in jail
very
now.
Well could be a catalyst. I mean, if he's that kind of dick, I can't imagine he was necessarily. I mean, who knows? Maybe he was a completely different person. Anyway, this is all stuff that's covered on CNN and whatnot, so we're not going to get into this kind of story. We just did want to give a 2020 refresher just to remember.
Because it's June, and this all happened
before
not even the first half
of the year,
and we're skipping stuff. I'm sure we're skipping stuff.
Oh, I actually started looking through other stuff.
We forgot about Hong Kong.
I started looking through.
They're no longer going to be independent pretty soon, apparently, and we forgot about Hong Kong.
And that stuff has been. I mean, that's been percolating for a while. And that's the thing about the coronavirus is also it's obvious, like tensions are high. So when little things, it's like ignite these things, they just go up like crazy. But also, China and a lot of other areas, especially like authoritarian countries, where should say those with authoritarian leadership, are using the coronavirus as a reason to snap rights away from people because they can. I mean, even in the United States and stuff, damn well we're not getting a lot of the privacy stuff back. Just like we definitely never got a lot of it back after 9/11. That shit is still there, even though it's been I don't know math too well, but 19 years.
Yeah, we lost more internet and privacy rights too throughout all this because everyone's distracted by coronavirus and they snuck through stuff. But once again,
and then they're never going to give it, and they're never going to give it back. I'm actually okay with like temporarily like using things for contact tracing and whatnot, but damn well companies and the government.
I'll never use a contract tracing app.
They're
I don't
never
care.
They're never giving that shit back.
Jerry, you and I both work in IT to different degrees. Would you ever use a contract tracing app?
I mean, I tend to not even use location services.
Yep, same. I don't think I would ever use one.
So like just randomly give it if it became such a big problem and there was like the community was like absolutely necessary for every single person to do it, I would probably try to figure out a way to utilize it for its intended purposes, and I would do some research to see if there's a way to get them the information they need without then giving every piece of information about my future away from them. Yep. Because really it's a matter of like, okay, after I give them this, it's sort of like with, and again, they're still tracing like so much stuff, listening to so much stuff, but if I could just maybe not actively give it away and at least turn fucking location services off, even if at the end of the day we're like, yeah, you turned them off, but we're still going to track you. At least that way I can be like, I had them turned off, and maybe someday down the line be able to sue somebody for something to make some money on my privacy getting ripped. But,
sure, yeah, I can see that.
But anyway, as long as I'm doing the thing, and making myself feel like I'm doing something, and maybe that's all there is to it, because at the end of the day, they can still just do whatever the fuck they want. I pushed a button, I'm going to trust it. They're definitely not tracing me anymore, but legally they're supposed to, so, pay attention to that. So the short answer is probably not, depending on the circumstance, but yeah. Yep. Like if today, like I'm not going to opt into one.
Okay, fair enough.
I want to help with the flattening out the, making sure the virus goes away, and hopefully that happens over time. But if I'm not going to give up rights for the rest of my life.
Exactly. So that is our roundup of the first 5 months of the year. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Let's go into web droppings.
Dropping 2.0.
All right. Now, our first story, a few people might have heard. It has made some bigger news outlets. They've picked up on it a little, but they're not really going whole hog on it like we're about to. Twitter and Trump are feuding because Twitter is essentially saying Trump can't say certain things.
Censoring him. First Amendment. None of that shit is so... No. His tweet is still up. They just said... Fact-checking is not censorship.
Yep. So,
providing a link, people still have to go to the link and read shit. They're not going to, like, his people aren't going to do that. It's just pointing out, like, hey, this guy's been full of shit every once in a while, and sometimes incites violence. Both absolutely true, and he used his fucking political leverage to try to threaten them, which would actually only fuck himself. That executive order.
Big time.
But he's really hoping it's just a hammer to smash them down, make them fall into line. Instead, the next day, they flagged another of his tweets, but we're not even talking about Twitter here. Facebook has said they're pretty much not going to bother doing any of that stuff.
Yep, no fact-checking. Fuck it. It's up to you. Figure it out.
Yeah, we've done a real good job.
Might as well have said, figure it out for yourself, fucker.
And he's just like, I'm exhausted trying to deal with this. Like, we haven't even gotten the whole, like, meddling in the election thing taken care of. And honestly, dipshit's going to be dipshits. And honestly, he probably even has a little bit of a... I mean, none of Trump's clan or cult followers click that fucking get the facts link and then read it and change their mind. The key is trying to get people maybe in between who might be like, oh, but honestly, it's at least show that you're trying to do something to, because even if it's not,
those
for the president,
those in between people who can't figure out whether it's a fact or not, at all. Like they have no concept either way. Like, oh, coronavirus is the flu. I don't know. It's a virus. I don't know.
Oh, geez.
Like, how do you be in the middle?
Yeah, Well, and the thing is, because at the end of the day, it's not just about Trump, but it's pointing out when you can. When you can impose some kind of regulatory framework,
fact checking,
because you're not even taking anything down. Also, none of these guys are protected under. Protected under the First Amendment. These are private companies who have a right to take anything down, impose any kind of limitations on your speech whatsoever. It's not a violation of free speech. If you go out and try to have your voice heard politically or whatnot, then we can't be necessarily stifling that. But a matter of like. Journalists and whatnot are protected, but on a fucking social media platform, the way you protect yourself from that is you say, oh, I don't like their terms and conditions, I leave now. Yep. And you go to one of those alt-right fucking troll ones on 4chan or whatever who just, and realize that, it turns out all of these people just really want to type say really hateful shit, because you go to these other places where people get banned from Twitter and you're like, oh, no, this is just the alt-right extremists.
It's the people who love caps lock.
Yes, it's all that's the one term and condition they have. It's all caps lock all the time.
All the time.
It's a caps lock party,
and the only punctuation is an exclamation point.
Yep.
All the other ones don't even exist.
What you type.
Not even questions, because that would pose questions.
Exactly. No, we need answers.
Don't question things.
We need answers shouted at you.
No questions.
You hit period with like 6 different.
So, in response to Mark Zuckerberg saying that they're not going to fact check Facebook, a bunch of brilliant people started up websites that now create and generate news. These news stories are about Mark Zuckerberg, involve discussions about him, fake interviews with him, and the whole purpose of these websites and these news articles, which are obviously fake, is to post them. And if you ever see one, your job as an American is to post it on Facebook, specifically so Mark Zuckerberg has to stand by no fake news, I won't take it down, but the stories are all fake news about him being a pedophile.
And so it needs to propagate across the internet like crazy for it to be taken
we
seriously
need
enough.
these to be everywhere.
Yeah. So we need millions of people to be sharing these ridiculous stories, because I think I like about them. I think you'll read a couple of the headlines.
I'm going to read this entire article because it's actually kind of short.
Yeah, because the thing I like about them is that it's all factual until just this one little.
Oh yeah, it's filled
yes.
with facts until they decide to talk about Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, so I will let you take the floor and just rattle some of those off, because I think they're fucking hilarious.
All right, so the title of this article is "Social Media Should Not Fact Check Posts," quote, says child molester Mark Zuckerberg. It's a great start.
Yeah.
All right, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg has today hit out at Twitter owner Jack Dorsey following blowback from the White House on Twitter's plans to fact-check tweets. Social media companies should be acting as fact-checkers and arbiters of the truth, announced Zuckerberg this afternoon. Also, by the way, I like to spread peanut butter on the wall and lick it off while naked. End quote. The billionaire social media mogul, who spends his free time taking candy from children, instead suggested that social media companies should allow all speech on their platforms and only intervene if there was a threat to an imminent harm to someone's life, like the woman he keeps chained in his basement. On the other hand, this is Zuckerberg quote, "I just really like the taste of goat urine," explained Zuckerberg thoughtfully.
Who doesn't?
"Can't get enough," end quote. And that's the end of the story. That's all you need. And every one of these stories pretty much starts out with child molester Mark Zuckerberg, noted child molester Mark Zuckerberg. So it's the first thing you see next to his picture.
And I hope that like from now on,
that's going to start trending on Google.
I was going to say, so from now on, auto completes like Mark Zuckerberg, child molester.
That's how I found this. I had to type in Zuckerberg child molester, which means his name is going to become part of the Google algorithm for this.
Yeah, and it's going to take a lot to wipe that away.
It'll take at least one wine tasting with his friends who run Google.
So what was it? I actually want to go back to, there was one of the quotes in there that you had. Can't get enough of it? Something like that? Goat urine?
That was the last quote. Quote, "On the other hand, I just really like the taste of goat urine," end quote, explained Zuckerberg thoughtfully. Quote, "Can't get enough."
Can't get enough. Because I just wrote, there was an empty promise of making like a fake poster or like ad for goat urine, and it's just Zuckerberg's face with like a thing.
Zuckerberg.
Like a
I like goat urine. Do you?
It's like just like a
Facebook
just a
brand
poster.
goat urine.
A poster ad for goat urine soda, and just Zuckerberg saying goat urine, can't get enough. All right, so I'm gonna make that. Easily soon, and
that shouldn't be too hard. Yeah,
it's just there's so many things of him
every
like
picture
holding
of him
something.
also looks the same. He has no emotion, so you can pick any one, and you've got an image of him.
Yep. All right.
So that is our first story. I don't know that we need new content because literally
I just created it. I'm going to create that poster.
The poster, perfect. Yeah. I was going to say because we're technically reporting
I'm gonna create
on new content.
Yes, really. Yeah. So, and I would say the only thing one of the reasons I wanted you to include the story, and because we were just chatting about it on the
we didn't even have it in the show notes at first.
I'm like, now that needs to be out there because I implore everybody to also like exercise your own creativity and start making up your own stories straight up from scratch if you want. Like, 'cause apparently you could just start doing that, post it, maybe it'll go viral and get retweeted or not retweeted, reposted on Facebook, whatever.
We can do an interview with Zuckerberg. We don't need him. Yeah. One of us can be him, one of us isn't, and just interview him about how he's a pedophile.
Yep. It's like, just take like
that's it. That's all you need.
Yep. And just take like chunks from like other interviews. He's like, well, I always just really thought it would take off, and I've really enjoyed my time.
Would just take off.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's a game. It's a game changer.
I thought I was getting in when it was like fringe and hipster.
Yeah. I knew it was going to be a game changer. Okay, that's actually more new content for that. You can go. Maybe move on to the next story while I finish typing these notes.
Yeah, you do the notes. I'll just report on this straight up, and then we'll just dive into whether we can create content for it. U.S. gun owners aim firearms at their own genitals to settle feud within community. So, essentially, they're really pointing guns at their junk with the safety off and their finger on the trigger. Which is bad trigger discipline. First of all, if you know anything about firearms, you never put your finger on the trigger unless you're willing to pull it.
And you also don't want to point at anything that you don't want to shoot.
Yes, bad discipline in general.
Yeah. Which I think is part of what we'll get into. That from what I understand, is sort of the point of this. But we'll get into that a little bit when we get into the details of why people are doing this, and also some of the misunderstandings of why people are doing it.
Yeah, it says, it was first assumed that the gun owners were embracing the risky pose as a way of trolling progressives. And then this author and storyteller Dylan Park, who originally reposted the images in a tweet that went viral, summed up the theory that follows. And this is his quote. To everyone asking why, I'm not 100% sure, but I think the thinking here is guns don't kill people. People with guns kill people, so we're going to point them at our dicks to prove how safe they are, or something.
Yes, and actually the answer turned out to be or something. That was somebody assuming that it was, once again, them intentionally trolling liberal snowflakes and whatnot, and it actually turns out the real answer is way fucking funnier, because it's actually them trolling their own community. Because there are those people that they consider like the trigger discipline, like disciplinarians or whatever. The trigger discipline Nazis, only they would say that in a good way because a lot of them like Nazis. Yeah, not all gun enthusiasts are racist or bad or anything like that. But people who are part of the gun enthusiast community, I know gun enthusiasts who collect guns, shoot, all this kind of stuff, and they protect they're into like safety
and they have
measures,
training,
but they're not part of
discipline.
They're not in the gun community. They're not posting online. They're not, because that's where a lot of times there might be like enthusiasts, but the people who get are a lot of times gathered to these communities are people who are also might need these communities a little bit more. And I think what ends up happening is some people on, like, I would say the more extreme side of the community are mad at or trying to troll the people who are on the more, say, like, hey, I just like guns, and let's post about how it's, hey, good trigger discipline, buddy. And now these people are kind of trolling them by being like, hey, not only is there's no safety, I'm pointing at my dick, which apparently I like, although you're a gun enthusiast, so I'm gathering it's going to be hard to fucking
fair,
shoot.
It's probably a small target.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be, you're going to have to really aim that fucker.
It's pressed into the crotch and it will miss.
And I still need a scope. All right, yeah.
But they reverse the scope, so it magnifies instead of...
Yeah, that's great.
So the funniest part of this is that a lot of this is being posted on a Facebook page, and I'm not shitting you when I say this. Go look for this yourself. Gun owners who hate gun owners.
Yeah, that's the trolling aspect of it, yeah.
Gun owners, just think about the fact that doesn't make sense as a statement.
Yes, and really what they're saying is they're irresponsible gun owners who don't like responsible gun owners. Because
which is weird.
These are bad guys with a gun who hate good guys with a gun.
Yeah.
But the bad guys with a gun, one of I would say one of our favorite shows. We have thousands of favorite shows, but one of the shows we both really appreciate is Mr. Zabrowski's Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell.
Yep.
And the one with the aborted fetuses.
Yeah.
And everybody in hell gets a gun, and everybody thinks they're the good guy with a gun.
Yep.
So they just are all shooting
I'm
them like,
good guy with a gun, the
no,
fetus.
I'm the good guy with a gun. No, I'm good guy with gun. And it's just like, and they shoot each other because everybody assumes they're the good guy with a gun.
Yeah.
But in this case, there are the people on one side who are just absolutely irresponsible with their firearms, or rather they don't appreciate the responsibility and the fact that people are patting each other on the back going, hey, good trigger discipline, bud. And honestly, those people are the gun owners I would like to have, are the ones that are actually being hated on in that these people created this group against, is because those are the people actually being like, hey, if you're going to be a gun owner, at least fucking do it right and stop giving us a bad name. And these people are like, you won't talk about giving us a bad name? I'm like, I really hope their trigger discipline is so awful and that they just fucking blow all their tiny little dicks off, which they would not even notice, and neither would their fictional girlfriends or beaten wives. Not saying anything about.
You're trying to make sense of this. Well, there's a quote on their Facebook page that literally says this. I'm about to read a quote. This is defending pointing a gun at your dick with your trigger finger on it and the safety off. You ready?
Yes.
Congratulating people for keeping their finger in the right place is like congratulating someone for not wrapping their seatbelt around their neck or for not shitting their pants in public.
Okay.
I don't even understand that sentence.
So I guess really, it's almost like that mentality of like everybody gets an award kind of thing. They're saying, hey, listen, you should just. So they're probably, I'm guessing, maybe they're saying they still want to be responsible gun owners. And even though they're pointing it at their dick and pointing out and trolling that they're not, they're also saying, why are we congratulating everybody for doing what they should just be doing anyway? And if that's the case, I can sort of understand that, but at the same time, you also want to reward good behavior. They're not giving medals. Nobody's getting an Oscar for this.
I've got it. And I'm going to do this tonight. I swear, because it's slow hanging meat.
Tell you what, you work on your slow hanging meat. I promise to get the Zuckerberg ad done.
I got my slow hanging meat. You ready?
Let's get some new content.
I'm going to create a Facebook page tonight, and I'm going to try to get as many people. I would say I'm going to shoot for a goal, meaning I'm going to work on this page. I'm going to shoot for a goal.
Who hate gun owners.
I'm going to shoot for a goal of 1,000.
Nice one.
1,000 members to my new Facebook page. Vegans who hate vegans. I'm gonna.
Oh, dude, that would be immediate.
I'm gonna post like picture of eating a steak and be like, yeah, I just didn't feel like not killing something today.
You know, there's
and like other things like that, and then try to find ridiculous memes other people may have already made online and just keep posting them.
Just pointing a gun at a cow's head.
Yes, anything like that.
Yeah,
I want to see if I can get. I'm going to see if I can get actual vegans.
I could
to
see
sign
that.
up saying they hate vegans.
I could actually see that because we've talked about vegans on this program before, where I think the concept of veganism is great. It's just the people that tend to practice it almost take this religious zeal. And I actually, when you pay attention to the good vegans who are not the ones who are actually preaching on social media.
A good vegan is someone who just has a vegan diet and shuts their fucking mouth and lives their life. Guess what? I eat chicken almost every day, and I don't walk around with guess what? I eat chicken.
Yeah, but there are meat eaters who also do that on the other side too, who they feel like by people being vegan, it's somehow like is a harm to them as a person. Like, and the thing is, though, some vegans probably do want to harm that person, and some meat eaters
probably do.
But ultimately, as somebody who eats meat but would tries to eat less of it and would ultimately like to not lead to it'd be nice if when I eat meat it's as much as possible like good sustainable stuff, but it might not always be the case. But it's also nice when I've known vegans in the past who don't fucking hate me as a human being, who limit their entire friend set to only people who don't eat meat, and then honestly hurt their own cause because I think they care more about the being known to feel like they're a part of a cause than actually the cause of not harming animals themselves. That's why so many people end up fucking their own cause over, because they get so much more into the cause and less of the result of the cause itself.
Quick question. I already started making the page while you were talking.
Okay, great. Yeah.
First thing it asks you is what category best describes the page?
I mean,
would it
I don't
be
know
protest,
what
lifestyle, like
it's sort of lifestyle, but
lifestyle. Maybe?
I mean, because it's about lifestyle, but it's also sort of it's not really a protest page. Is it? No, it's not. It's not anybody protesting anything specific. It's saying here's a community for people who don't like something. So what would you say for a community who said we don't like Star Wars? What would that be? So let's not even think about vegans who hate vegans. Let's just say a group for people who don't like something.
I'm saying it's just not art. It's not a product or service. It's not a blog. Is it? Is it a personal blog?
I mean,
no, not really. It's not a musician or a band.
What
movement? Is that a thing?
Let's figure this out. Separately.
It just kind of bugs me though. Like the initial thing is categorizing it, and then when you think about it,
can you see what the category of the gun owners one is?
I probably will have to go to them and then see. Okay,
because I was going to say it might actually be more fun to just even if it is
copy their page,
even if it is gun rights.
Like if there's like a picture of a gun, I'll like do a picture of like a vegan hot dog
shaped like a gun.
It's like shaped like a gun. I don't know, like might be the best option is to copy their page, almost mirror it, to continue the point of how funny they are and how weird they are.
Yeah, but also like pointing out that kind of internal community infighting could probably be applied across the board in anything. I mean, how many the differences is their lives on the line when it comes to guns, but I mean, how many how much infighting do you think there is amongst say comic communities and stuff about people who end up hating each other? That's the way communities work. You have a nice friendly community and then it fucking falls apart because people suck.
Unfortunately, I can't copy their page once it comes to content. Then it just needs to be like cheat day or something like that.
I
can't take a tofurkey and point it at my dick.
No.
Stick your finger in it.
Conceptually, you want to conceptually glean as much as you can off there. But it's I do like the thought of like cheat day. And it's just like a 68-ounce steak, or cheat day, and it's somebody like hugging a cow, and it's just like with a gun to its head.
Yeah. And you can find photos of all that shit. I'm sure
Photoshop
online.
a bunch of shit. As long as you do like stock image stuff, like go to archive.org. Even as long as it's the public domain, so you don't have to like get in trouble for posting something.
Oh no! I know where there's fields with cows, and I know guns. Gonna make this happen myself. I didn't say I have one. I just said I know guns.
I know guns.
Some of my best friends are guns.
And honestly, a lot of these people on these pages would probably say that.
Yeah.
Hey, you met my girlfriend, Glock. No, I think it's a real.
That's why you named your baby.
Yeah, Yeah, glop.
Also, the sound she made when we dropped her the first time in the bathroom while reloading.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
You mean changing her diaper? Yeah, we were reloading her.
Yeah, she's she's a special one. She ain't got all the bullets in the chamber, but she's pretty good. Yeah. That's good. All right. Anyway,
this is our son, AK. Hopefully, he grows up to have a big old banana clip like his dad.
That's right. Yeah, which I used to have, but shot off with my AK.
Okay. All right, we got it. What time do we have here?
We got about 20 minutes still. Yeah, we're good.
How about we jump down to breakfast joint? Or did you like the monkey story?
Let's go to breakfast joint. Let's move. I'll move monkeys toward the end here,
just in case, because it really is the title, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't even want to say the title now. I just want people to be like, they're skipping a monkey story, and they're hoping we get back to it.
Yeah, let's go into the monkey stealing shit story.
Yeah,
yeah. The outbreak story.
Okay, so this is a story coming out of the Wisconsin State Journal. The title is Smut and Eggs Restaurant Faces Uphill Battle After Hosting Stripper Event Illegally.
This was the one I did not finish reading all the way, so I'm gonna be probably learning about it as you are providing it to the listener as well. So
yeah, I'm pretty much gonna read a little bit from the
Smut
story.
And eggs.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's better than just calling it smutty eggs.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking yeah. Just green eggs and smut. Oh my god!
I like that.
Green eggs. That's a show title.
That is, yeah.
Green eggs and smut. All right.
I'm gonna start reading.
Yeah.
After illegally having strippers at its establishment, Bennett's Meadowwood Country Club, a bar and grill on the southwest side known for its porn in the morn breakfast on the weekends,
great fucking title. Great name. Porn in the morn. Dude, first of all, that's just how some people wake and bake.
Start your day.
Yeah, I wake and shake.
Ooh, got it. No
my
more.
Penis.
Nope, we're good. We're
over
good.
and over again.
It burned into my brain already.
Board of a
Stop
vertical,
moving your hand like that.
Vertical, like I'm shaking a penis.
I'm gonna pretend you're just shaking a soda as a prank.
And then when exactly. Yeah, that's how big I think my dick is. yeah. It did large.
All right. Says Madison's Alcohol License Review Committee on Wednesday reluctantly recommended renewal of the bar's liquor and adult entertainment licenses with a condition of no strippers at any time. But the committee members had concerns about how Bennett's would operate and said they would discuss possible revocation of license during a upcoming meeting. They said, I'm looking at a non-renewal when we bring them back or significant restrictions in their licensing. Essentially, you just can't do what we used to do. We're in a new world.
Yes.
So, they then went ahead and held an event with strippers that violated their entertainment license, and the bar was allowed to feature hardcore porn on its TVs as patrons dine during its notorious Smut and Eggs breakfast Saturday and Sunday mornings.
Can I just interject here? And everybody's different, and I totally understand this. One thing I've never I've never been into making the connection with is anything food related and sex or porn or anything like that. I'm not going to eat a burger while I'm jerking off.
Yep.
I'm also and I don't not even like whipped cream or anything like that or whatever. Nope. I mean, honestly, if a woman's just like putting some whipped cream on her, that's going to be totally fine. I remember one of the first porns I ever bought that like legally purchased from New York City when I went to visit my buddy who went to college at Sarah Lawrence right above the city. It was a pornography called pornography.
Jesus fucking! Were you smoking the marijuana? Well, you did it.
It was a porno called Organ Grinders, and I kind of bought it because it was funny. Then we went back and watched it, and it pretty much starts out this guy's eating a fucking bologna sandwich out of the girl's vagina. Of all things, a bologna sandwich, and I think that might actually be the trigger that why I just can't associate any food and sex or jerking off or anything together. Anyway, that was an aside. My personal taste on this. Obviously, anybody else, go to town, man. Go to fucking do what you want. Smut and Eggs.
Yep. So they had been allowed to serve breakfast and have hardcore porn, and they did this just Saturdays and Sundays, just in the morning.
Although who doesn't it's weird to me.
And they wanted strippers, but they were told they were not allowed to. So this
masturbation.
So what ended up happening was they have a stripper event every year the weekend before the Super Bowl. A stripper and a patron interviewed by them said this happens annually, and this business has been open for 40 years.
So good.
How have we not heard about this already? Wouldn't this make our weird news that there's a breakfast joint with strippers, hardcore porn.
Maybe because it's been around so long that like
it's no one thinks about it. It's normal
in its region, but you'd still think some blogger would like wander through that area and be like, "Holy fuck!" There's
By the way, this is a slightly older story. This is from January. That's why we're talking about the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
They weren't allowed to have the strippers, but they did it anyway, saying, "Oh, we didn't know we weren't." But essentially, they had a license to have strippers and violated the license, being not renewed at that point in time. I think as of 2 weeks from now, it could be renewed, but because back during the Super Bowl they fucked it up, it may not happen now at all. I just want to give some timestamps here for anyone wondering why we're bringing it up now.
Well, and also
their license is coming up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why it's making the headlines now, or I should say headlines. This is from local headlines. This is a Wisconsin story, correct?
They did, and they did not advertise in any of their advertisements strippers. By the way, they tried to keep it more or less. You show up, ooh, surprise strippers, cool.
Oh god, you know what I just realized about this? This has got to, if it hasn't already. This was posted May 20th. If this hasn't already made it. Because one of the things we run into is we love the show, Last Podcast on the Left.
They should talk about this, I hope.
But
and they
like,
haven't.
Their side stories tend to talk about a lot of the same stuff we do.
It's very similar
and
to
Ben
our
Kissel
show.
is from Wisconsin. There's no way this is not going to be.
It's gotta be.
So I almost want to get this show up prematurely, even though we just posted one. Like we just posted one. Like I just posted one
2
lately.
weeks without doing one, and we can do back-to-backs, and I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'll post one maybe like shortly. I think their next. We
used to do it like every Friday or something. We just kind of lost our rhythm.
We did when we lost like a couple of the the
don't
radio
forget to send
things.
me the link, by the way,
Yeah,
so I can do stuff with it.
Anyway, sorry. So I was just thinking, like a lot of this because I noticed it did take place in Wisconsin, so it's gonna get picked up there. But the reason it is, like you said, getting brought back up into the news now, which is why we're first hearing about it, is because of the upcoming renewal or whatever.
And the problem is right now is they also might be trying to revoke their liquor license as a bit of a punishment, as also not renewing the other
because of
entertainment
the
license.
issue that happened in January that we're talking about. Yeah,
and they have other issues when apparently a security guard at the bar was carrying a firearm without a license and pulled the firearm on various customers. He also tased someone one night, and the bar was not immediately cooperative in providing the video of the incident. The bar has also had a handful of police calls, including drinking in the parking lot, and during some of the incidents, the owner swore at officers. So,
I mean, I guess your thing, swearing at officers, it's not a great thing. Obviously, there's going to be, first of all, if you were black, you'd be dead by now. Second, if you, I don't know, actually know if the owner is black or white, but I will say that it's generally not a great thing. I understand when you get like fired up, there could be circumstances that you would make you want to swear at an officer, but that shit's going in an affidavit, and you just want to make sure that eventually might go in front of a judge. Just keep it chill, no matter what your head says. Obviously, this is all me talking as a privileged white male who can keep it chill in these circumstances. I'm not concerned about my life or anything like that. But in these kind of cases, if it's don't swear at an officer who's probably checking on your like a complaint about some shit you probably legitimately did wrong. As far as stuff like parking lot drinking, I think it's funny that we impose these laws like that are totally enforced in cases like can't drink out like outside of this titty club, but you can go to a fucking game like this is Wisconsin. This is fucking sports country.
You can go to an NFL game and tailgate.
Yeah, you can tailgate,
which
in
is
a parking
drinking
lot,
in a parking lot.
Drinking and grilling in a parking lot, and nothing is getting done about it.
Nope.
But the second, so I think there's some arcane laws.
Yep.
Archaic. Yes, archaic.
And,
arcane.
Yeah, the only way they're going to be able to serve alcohol in the future is if they meet all of the state's laws. And there's two conditions that were thrown on top. I think these are funny. Monthly meetings with the police to basically check in and say, hey, how's it going? Fuck you! Yep. And the staff can't consume alcohol on the job. Which is
isn't that just
it's probably a state law. I don't live there.
Just be a whole thing.
But they're making sure that the staff is not allowed to drink on the job.
Yeah.
In addition to meeting with the police. So
yeah.
That's essentially the whole story. If I'm ever in Wisconsin and I never see myself actually going there,
I'll go there.
I'm getting breakfast at Smut and Eggs. It's a guarantee. The wife and I are going to go.
This might be a reason to go now. I mean, honestly, there's so much around Wisconsin that I'd probably go to first in that whole area, part of the country. There's plenty of good stuff in Wisconsin and whatnot.
Do you think the volume's on for the hardcore porn? Like you're trying to talk over, I like the eggs over easy.
Yeah. They got subwoofers and shit. It's like a professional. There's somebody doing sound for it. There's an actual fucking sound guy.
There's a gimp in a cage in the corner.
Yeah, and he's the sound guy.
Yes, he's got the boards in the cage.
Yeah, and they're just throwing like rotten eggs at him. All right, I'm loving Smut and Eggs, and Green Eggs and Smut is also probably the name.
I hope you guys get to stay open. Just start complying with the state laws. Don't be bad people when you have a great business model. Be good people with a good business model.
Especially a controversial business model that the community is probably like. You've been around for 40 years.
Yeah, be responsible.
The community is open-minded enough to be like, yo, they're good. Let's like good people.
Yeah.
Just like strip clubs and whatnot can be a good part of the community as long as the people, and same with bars, there can be drunks and there can be a bad bar that has a bad reputation. Good bars can have a good reputation with the cops and good,
it doesn't just hurt the owner, it hurts like the waitresses who won't make money.
That's what I'm mostly concerned about.
It hurts the cooks who have to get up early that day and husk all the eggs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the GIMP.
The GIMP,
the GIMP market's pretty good right now, but
the GIMP market is up.
Yeah. The GIMP, there's a lot of
get in the kitchen and husk those eggs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Also, when you can be a what do they go like polyglot? Those are people who speak multiple languages.
Pollywogs?
But no, I'm thinking of the people who speak multiple languages. But I'm thinking, in other words, a Renaissance man, if you will, a Renaissance person.
Bilingual?
No, Renaissance person.
Polylingual?
I'm not even thinking of the word anymore. I just said Renaissance person. No, but so if you can, in other words, if you can be a GIMP that can also go fucking, like cook an omelet or something like that, and do some sound, you got a future.
All right. Only good content I have for this is
I was right. Polyglot.
If tomorrow
I was right the first time.
If tomorrow you wanted to go out and buy your own GIMP, what would you name him?
Polyglot.
Okay, I would say I would go back with my original slow hanging meat.
Oh, slow hanging meat is very good.
That would be the name of my GIMP.
Yeah,
come here, slow hanging meat.
Actually, I got to change mine a little bit. I think Bodie McBoatface. The GIMP Bodie McBoatface is pretty good. Then we just had some major callback.
We did.
Major callback. One to just like last week's.
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know why I keep saying that phrase, I think I'm going to keep saying it on this show.
Slow hanging meat was the name of our last episode, the most recent episode.
Yep. And it was because I fucked up while speaking once and owned it hard.
And now, not only have you owned it, I have adopted it to where I actually said it in my head the other day because I say low hanging fruit all the time. Yeah. I said slow hanging meat before low hanging fruit. It is now a part of the actual lexicon. My brain is thinking it before my mouth says it. Yep. I don't have to correct myself.
Low hanging fruit? Fuck off. We've got slow hanging meat.
I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, sometimes accidents are happy accidents.
Yes, yeah.
Like kids, like the majority of children born in the U.S.
I was an accident. I was born out of wedlock.
I was such an accident they gave me away and I got adopted.
Oh yeah, so you were like a real. That's right.
I was in a bargain bin.
You were clearance, baby.
Factory seconds.
Scott Bear, clearance, baby.
I'm like the factory seconds Ben and Jerry that has too many chocolate chips or too few.
That's the thing, was you were too much. You were just an entire Heath bar in the crunch. Yeah.
That kid's more Heath than Bear.
Oh my god, that's good. Okay.
My last name's Bear. If anyone wonders what the fuck that meant.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Where did we leave off? What stories do we have left?
So honestly, do we want to maybe save a couple of these for next week and go into, because we haven't done State of Horror in a while, and I know that you did add one, and I thought, do we want to start bringing that back now, or do we want to go and do another
State of the Horror for next week? Because I read
sensitive.
it once when I posted it, but I would like a quick refresher. I was almost hoping we wouldn't get to it because it has a tangential link outside of the Wikipedia that covers the facts to other urban legends that have sprung up about it, even up to today.
Let's do a little bit more next time around with that, or even do like a separate little
let's just tease that, and also we're not even doing the monkey thing now. We mentioned it twice.
There was something about monkeys. We're not going to tell you what.
And a State of Horror about Pennsylvania, which have we done before?
I've got the State of Horror document. I do not think we have.
Okay, it'd be good if we chalk off another state, because we've been going slow with these.
If we have not, no, I actually forgot that because we kind of haven't done any really since the COVID.
Yeah, since COVID, we forgot about horror, because the world is horror.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I've been watching horror movies, but a lot of the stuff I've been watching is like silly stuff, which 7 Stages of Eternal Bliss or whatever the heck that was.
Yeah. I
Dan
got
Harmon,
that in my
Taika Waititi. Dude, Dan Harmon's part in that is fucking brilliant.
I've been watching comedies too. Like Contagion, I laughed so fucking hard all through it.
Oh, dude, I know. It was just like, that'll never happen.
When Goop died at the beginning, I fell off the couch crying laughing. Dude, yeah.
Actually, that was the...
that was my favorite part of that movie, when Goop died.
One of the reasons, like, when I realized Goop was in it, like, I was like, I don't really want to watch this.
Nah, I fucking hate her.
And I was so happy when she, like... It was the opposite of Drew Barrymore dying in Scream, spoiler alert, where I was like, oh, sweet. And I was like, I like Drew Barrymore. I want her in more of this movie. It's a cool way to start a movie, though. Oh yeah, go ahead. I was actually going to do a big spoiler for a movie most people would never have seen or never will see, so I'm never actually going to do it.
I was going to not give a spoiler by saying names, but the movie The Hunt, the controversial liberals hunting Republicans movie, has a fucking great cast of good actors, a lot of them comedians too.
Yep.
And you are shocked at who dies and when based on the billing.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be like, oh, that person, cool. No. Oh, that, no.
Yep.
Oh, that, no. And also Dennis from Always Sunny in Philadelphia as a liberal guy hunting rednecks. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Dennis from Always Sunny, fuck yes.
Yeah, I feel like when watching it through the lens of not expecting like a serious social commentary, I think a lot of people went in expecting something a little less like, because I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to go in watching it as like an entertaining movie, which I think you had heard enough bad stuff about it. You went in with this entertaining lens of like, the social commentary,
and it's not what you think.
The social commentary is not going to be like, because it got so much press because of it, and then some people went in expecting something like really controversial, and social commentary is like going to be biting, and they're like, no, this isn't Invisible Man, which like surprised people the opposite way, where people went in expecting a more classic monster movie and got something with some legit social commentary that was extremely, as far as I'm concerned, like well done and threw me for a loop and made me really appreciate that movie. Now I'm actually glad I'm going in with this lens to The Hunt and just being like, I'm going to entertain the shit out of myself watching this movie.
And it's not anti-conservative. The last girl in it is a conservative, and you root for her because the liberals are the bad guys.
I'm going to think of it as a movie.
Yeah, it's
so
just
I'm not going to think of it like, I'm going to think of it less of like, regardless of what people intended
it's
for
also heavy-handed on its political message, but it's done in such a tongue-in-cheek, forced way that you're like, you're literally watching and going, did they just fucking say that? And it's kind of funny.
But again, as long as I go in expecting that, it's the people I think that didn't like it are people who went in expecting it to be a little more... I almost wanted to use the word acerbic. But
it's almost like comedy horror.
Yeah.
Kelly said it reminded her a lot of... like The Purge meets Cabin in the Woods almost.
Oh, remember the result of that movie you recommended to me that had a bunch of people in it? It was social media driven. Everybody's information got leaked.
Assassination Nation?
Assassination Nation.
That was really good.
Yeah, where like that kind of like had that tongue-in-cheek
everyone's social media history got leaked.
And it had that same, but it's definitely like tongue-in-cheek, but also has like Purge is very serious.
Yeah.
And like these kind of movies are like, okay, we're gonna have that kind of commentary or this, but it's also gonna be tongue in cheek, and because we have to be over the top about this shit, so we're not gonna be subtle. It's also really not gonna be trying to get a fucking message across. Really, we're just gonna say our thoughts or angry thoughts about this. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, this week we watched the movie you introduced me to, The Furies.
Yes.
And then we watched The Hunt.
Oh, that's right, because she hadn't... your wife had not seen that
So
yet.
we watched that and that back-to-back, which are similar but different films. And then we also mentioned to each other that Assassination Nation was similar to all these.
Yes.
So if you're a fan of The Purge, Cabin in the Woods, anything that's got like a twisty feel and some social commentary, The Furies, The Hunt, also both great.
And, The Furies, like, definitely, it's not...
And Assassination Nation, as you said.
You're not getting this... like real nothing about it is subtle, which is one of the things I like about a lot of horror. Sometimes not everything needs to be fucking nuanced. No. Every once in a while you just need to get hit in the head with a fucking paddle and have fun with it too. Like there was some one of my favorites. I've been slowly making my way through the Into the Dark series on.
Some are great, some are bad.
Yeah, and I'd seen a few of them, but so I started just making my way through and be like, fuck it, I'm not even going to pay attention to which ones are good, which ones are bad. I really like New Year, New You, but once again, no, there was
that the first one?
No, that was New Year, New You.
I haven't seen that one then.
That was the one by
that's the second
Sophia.
New Year's one, right?
I think no. The second New Year's one was that the December one?
Maybe I haven't seen either then.
The New Year, New You was like. It was all female cast. Sophia Takai was the woman who made it. She did Almost Shine, and I think she did the new Black Christmas.
Without ruining without ruining the ending, what's the one sentence plot?
Old childhood friends get together on New Year's Eve to celebrate their glory years.
I didn't watch that one
Their
yet.
glory years, and a lot of misplaced or displaced or unsaid frustrations make their way out in very violent ways.
Okay.
And it's so far as I think probably one of the favorite ones I've seen. I've probably only seen a half dozen now.
Yeah, Into the Dark.
But anyway, it's very
as a series is
good. This one has a lot of commentary on like social media stuff like that, and social media celebrity and things, and also as far as like the kind of like the cattiness of the female community in terms of like the withholding things from one another and then unleashing everything. And it was Sophia Takai, so like the fact that it was
The ones I really like are the ones that stand out of my head, like the two Puka ones. Those are great.
Yep, I saw both the Pukas.
And the first one with the assassin who's dragging the dead body through the city on Halloween. Everyone thinks it's his costume.
I thought that was... I realized... I found out, like, after it said it was based on a short film or whatever, I was like... I thought it was good for, like, 10 minutes. And I thought... I think it ended up good. I just thought I was like, this could be a 15-minute movie, and it would have been good.
And it was only an hour and 15 minutes.
It's sort of like when people make a whole movie out of Night of the Roxbury. I'm like... Yeah. It's a good skit. But
I love the concept. I enjoyed it. The guy just dragging the body. You're like, that's a cool costume.
It's a great concept, but also like it runs out of steam. Like, and the ending is great, and elements of the middle. But I also could feel. I felt like it was getting stretched out, and it was only like 70 minutes long, and it felt like it was stretched out. But I really liked it ultimately. And there's some other ones I liked in there as well. A couple of that I have not liked, but
there's some I hated. Some were bad.
I watched the. I liked Crawlers. I recently watched that.
Oh, Crawlers might be one of my favorites. It was so
absolutely.
campy.
I just love that shit, dude. I love that style of like.
That monster, was the St. Patty's Day one.
The most recent one, yeah. The St. Patty. the
most recent St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, because it has been going since October 2018. So.
Yep. If for anyone who wants to know, it's basically a series of shorter movies. They're about an hour and 10 minutes long each. They're hour and 20 at longest.
They're movie length.
Near movie length.
Up to an hour and a half, but so we say like series, but they're all done by different people, and it's based on it's on Hulu, and it's done by Blumhouse, and it's different directors, different cast, everything every time. So it's not an anthology series. It's considered an anthology series, I mean, technically, but it's a movie every month, and the theme has to be based around a holiday that happens in that month. Some people have a harder time like around it, like obviously
the International Women's Day or one or whatever. That was so bad.
Like what the fuck do you have in like August and things like that? That's why like I think going to like really specific religious holidays and stuff might be really interesting to see like very like regional specific stuff.
Yep,
I'd be down for that. They're gonna run out like of some in some of these months. Obviously, every Christmas is gonna be a Christmas one.
Probably.
I didn't see the most recent Christmas one's supposed to be really good.
I haven't seen the most recent Christmas either.
But some other ones have a lot of like you could always do an April Fool's one.
The first April Fool's one was the motel one. That was so good.
Yeah. Wait, was that I'm Just Fucking With You?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it was a tough watch, and it's been panned by a lot of people. But I actually I felt like I was I wanted to get out of it a few points, and there was not a single likable character in it.
Yep.
But I also the fact that they were so unlikable, it made it fun. It was a fun one. I set out to watch a fun movie that night.
The bartender was my favorite character in that.
And he's an amazing actor, that guy. And he seems like he should be playing a cult leader in...
He should be in more stuff.
Because he, like, with the glasses and everything, like, that guy was so fucking good. We don't have to do another story now.
No, we don't. We just talked
Into the
about
Dark on Hulu.
Stuff.
Because we were like, we don't talk about horror much anymore. But we will next week. But we did this week as well. But next week, we're going to get more into the state of horror, which is a segment that we started out quite a while ago, where we're trying to touch on something horrific in every state, whether it be a folklore creature, serial killer. Maybe we haven't even touched on might be one where it's just like a horror movie set in the state or shot in the state, things like that. So we'll get into Pennsylvania, assuming... let's just do Pennsylvania next week, even if we've done it. I don't think we've done it before. I also know there's a couple things about Pennsylvania. We might do a twofer. I actually have one I want to bring in from Pennsylvania as well. So we'll do that next week. Bring a couple of these stories. Fuck you, monkeys. We're not even going to get into that story because people can go ahead and look it up themselves. Just look up
COVID monkey.
COVID monkeys, and you'll get the story. So we give you a little teaser for that. Now go out and do your own research, man. Ask your own questions, man.
And get lost.